I'm Amanda. I don't really know what we're gonna do today. I'm just gonna flow. I'm ready to move with you guys. So let's see what comes about. Maybe some shoulders, always hip work, you know that. So let's see what we got. So join me with the toes tucked under, sitting back. All the weight is in those toes. So I don't know about you guys, but I've been wearing closed-toed shoes. Here in Florida, I'm usually in flip-flops, but those closed-toed shoes always get me. So I know that I got to take a little extra time and get into the feet. So that's what we're gonna do. So just kind of settle in, see if you can allow all the weight. I see so many people, they're like bracing, trying not to sink their weight into the toes. See if you can just settle in, soften. Try not to make it too much of a big deal. If you got to take a break, of course, do so, but see if you can kind of keep the breath calm so that you can bear the physical. All the physical is gonna test us. It's gonna try to distract us. It's gonna keep us from staying in the pose and really putting in that work. So see if you can use the breath to help keep you calm. That's what we're here for. Optional close eyes, that always helps. Stay focused. We're here for one more breath. Good, and then slowly come forward. Just kind of circle out the ankles, tap out the tops of the feet. Going the other direction, knees together. Again, always working the heels together so they don't splay out. Getting onto the tops of the feet. If you don't feel much of a stretch here, you can lean over, lift one knee or maybe both. Breathe. If you want a little core action, you can lift the hips a little higher. Good, and then slowly lower. Walk the hands forward, separate the knees, big toes still touch for child's pose. Just kind of softening. Using this time to ground yourself. Checking into what you need out of your practice. So that's why I said I wasn't really sure what we were going to do. I'm going to go with the flow. I'm going to listen to my body and see what I need. So I encourage you to do that. That's our theme today. To listen. To just kind of move. Yeah, I'm going to guide you. Of course, follow along. But if there's something you're doing that doesn't feel right or you choose to do something else you think it'd be better, then please go for it. It's your practice. Good. Slowly lift the head, tuck the toes, lift the hips for downward facing dog. And just kind of pedal out the feet, bending one knee at a time. Pushing the chest back towards the bent leg. Just kind of getting the flow going in the hips. Reaching out of the shoulders, unloading those shoulders. Inhale the plank. Broaden through the shoulders. And just kind of roll over the tops of the fingers and the toes. Seeing if you can feel so light. So you're engaging the core, rolling the pubis bone forward so you're straight like a board. One more breath. And then just roll over the tops of the feet. Keep the arms straight, leaving out the chaturanga for this first one. Coming into up dog. Spread through the fingers, sink the hips. If it's too much on your lower back, you can always drop the knees, separate the feet, or if it's okay, just the tops of the feet and the hands are touching. And keep broadening the chest. So pulling the shoulders back, gaze over to the left. Back to center and over to the right. Back to the left. This time you can kind of just roll your hips with you, kind of getting into the side waist. And then over to the right. Hips can flow if you like. Back to center, staying on the tops of the feet, plank. So getting into those shins, the tops of the feet a little bit more. Lift the hips for down dog on the tops of the feet. Try to keep the ankles square so the ankles don't sickle out. If it's too much, again, you can always ignore me, but see if you can bear it. Breathe, stay calm. And then when you've had enough of that, untuck the toes, pedal it out, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank again. This time, chaturanga, elbows in, hover. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk the hands to the feet, coming to the back of the mat. Just soften the knees. Inhale, look out, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Grab opposite elbow. Just kind of sway a little side to side. And then come to neutral. Release the elbows. Keep the feet where they are. Keep the right knee bent. Straighten out the left leg and walk the hands over behind the right heel. Still pulling the left hip back. So you want to keep the hips square to the front of the mat. Neck is soft. Bend the right knee a little further. Good, and then come back to center and switch. Straighten out the right leg, bend the left, and walk it over. Keep pulling the right hip back. Neck is soft. One more. Good, back to center. Come high up onto the fingertips, look out, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, lower, Tadasana. You can heel toe the feet together if you want, or keep them separated, and just bring the hands to Namaste. Close the eyes. Keep pulling the shoulders back and down. Pull the pubis bone up so you're engaging the core just by standing here. If you feel a little wobbly, see if you can ground yourself. Use this Tadasana, this mountain pose, as a way to stabilize, to check in. One more. Good. Open up the eyes gently. Bend the knees, sweep the arms. Inhale, chair. Weights in the heels, getting nice and deep. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, walk it out to plank. Chaturanga. Inhale up. And exhale back. Left heel in, right foot lunges. Inhale, warrior one. Moving through our Surya Namaskar at B. Lower the hands. Exhale, step back. Chaturanga. Inhale. And exhale. Other side. Right heel, left foot lunges. Lower the hands, step back. Chaturanga. Inhale. And exhale. Breathe. Lift the hips a little higher. See if you can turn the heels out slightly. Maybe lift the toes. Exhale a little bit deeper. Look between the hands, walk or jump. Feet to hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms. Inhale, chair. Good. Straighten out the legs. Tadasana. Pause. So we're going to move through that same thing, that Surya Namaskar B, so important to warm up our body. But I'm going to do a little less direction. So see if you can just flow at your own pace with your own breathing. I'll cue you just a little bit, but do whatever you need to, okay? So shoulders back, bend the knees. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Left heel in, right foot lunges. Inhale. Lower, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Other side. Lower. Inhale. And exhale for 5 breaths. Breathe. If you're still going, that's perfect. Meet us in down dog. Gently shake the head yes, shake the head no, making sure there's no tension in the back of the neck. Ground the roots of the index finger so you're not splaying all the weight into the outer edges of your hands. Keep grounding, strengthening every part of your body. Exhale a little bit deeper. One more. Good. Look between the hands. Walk or jump. Feet to hands. Inhale. Exhale. Feet together. Bend the knees. Inhale, chair. Good. Straighten the legs. Tadasana. Separate the feet. hip width apart. Interlace the hands behind the back. Work the palms together and then see if you can start to work the forearms together. So you're creating kind of one arm behind you. And then notice how naturally you want to kind of stick out your butt, come into that like natural back bend. See if you can resist that and keep lifting up. Lengthen through the arms rather than dumping into your lower back. Stay strong through the core. Breathe, maybe a little back bend now, but keep that focus on not dumping into your lower back. Think about lengthening as you look up or back. And then exhale, fold. Bringing the hands with you. You can soften the knees. Again, you're working the palms together. One fist. Maybe you can bring the forearms a little closer together to make it more challenging. One more. Good. Bring the hands to the lower back. Keep the fingers interlaced and slowly come up. Another back bend. Think about lengthening up. Good. Neutral spine. Release the arms and fold forward. Middle and index finger. Hook the big toes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Padangusthasana. So I always tell you guys, bend the knees. I don't know about you all, but I always feel some kind of pressure in my lower back. It never hurts me or anything, but I know when I bend my knees, it unloads my hamstrings and really is a nice stretch in that lower back. So again, if you don't feel it, if that's not good, then ignore me. And if it is a good option, then bend the knees. Maybe if you don't feel it yet, you need to bend them a little bit more to really feel what I'm talking about. Pull the elbows wider, crown of the head closer to the floor. If you can still keep your belly on the legs, maybe you start to lift those hips, straightening out the legs a little bit. You'll know if it's too much. Keep breathing. One more. Exhale a little deeper. Good. Release the toes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, look up. Exhale, lower the hands. Good. Step the right foot back, coming into a straddle. So outer edges of the feet are down. Hands to the hips. Turn the right toes out. Keep pulling that left hip back so your hips stay square and then arms come out. Good. Bend the right knee. Now think about, straighten it again. Think about your right knee pulling towards the right pinky toe. You're lengthening through the toes, almost getting that right inner thigh to pull forward. That makes it a whole different pose. So see if you can really focus on that part, pulling the right knee out and then get low into the warrior two. Again, still turning that knee out. Breathe. Pull the core in, lengthen through the arms. Right elbow to the inside of the knee, left arm up. Get a little bit lower. Turn the top palm to face forward, reach up over the ear. Some of you may want to lower to the floor, maybe wrap and bind. Keep the left leg active. So we're not just slouching into the back foot. See if you can think about lifting the back inner thigh. One more breath. Pull the left shoulder back. Good. Release the hands, back to warrior two. Straighten out the right leg. Turn the right toes in. Inhale, both arms up. So the toes are slightly pigeon-toed, heels are out. Exhale, fold down the midline. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Hands to the hips. Draw the elbows together behind the back and slowly come up. Good. Turn the left toes out. Again, pulling the right hip back. See if you can pull the left knee out. Takes a lot of work to externally rotate. Good. Arms come out. Keep rolling the left knee out and bend the left knee. You may need to lengthen your stance a little bit. Good. And then left elbow to the inside of the knee. Right arm up. Get a little lower through the legs, keeping the back leg active. Turn the top palm to face forward, reach up over the ear. Breathe, soften the jaw, work to the floor, wrap and bind, whatever you did last time. One more. Good. Release, back to warrior two. Straighten out the left leg, turn the left toes in. Interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale, open up the chest, and exhale, fold. This time it's all about the shoulders, so you can bend the knees a little bit. One more. Good. And then release the hands to the mat. May lengthen your stance or shorten it, whatever's going to comfortably keep your palms onto the floor. Right hand under the nose, left arm up. Stacking left shoulder on top of right. Keep pulling the right hip back. Lengthen. Reach forward through the crown of the head, back through the hips. Stay here or wrap that top arm around the back, working for the right inner thigh. And then right hand to the left ankle. Spin the heart up. Soften the neck and breathe deeply. One more. Good. Release the top arm. Bring the left hand behind the right wrist and go for the opposite leg. See if you can pull your head through the arms. Human pretzel style. Breathe. The more you can grab onto the opposite leg, the more you can twist yourself for that self-adjustment. One more. Good. Unwind. Both hands down. Inhale, lengthen. Other side. Left hand down, right arm up. Working to stack right shoulder on top of left. Reach forward through the crown of the head, back through the hips. Grounding the outer edges of the feet, still staying strong in your foundation. Stay here. It might be enough work just to try to get your shoulders stacked. If you care for more today, you can wrap around. And then left hand to right ankle. Keep spinning the heart up. Let your head just hang. If you can't go for your entire inner thigh, then just grab a shirt, your shorts, anything to kind of help bind. And then if you want, release that top hand. Bring the right hand behind the left wrist and spin. Just stay away from your kneecaps. Don't hold on to your kneecap, please. Open up the chest, breathe. Must look really funny. Hi. One more. Good. Unwind, both hands down. Inhale, lengthen. And then walk it out. So you're going to come into a wide leg down dog. Come high up onto the toes. Bringing both heels forward and then push the chest back. So we're kind of overcompensating in our shoulders, bringing the forehead down. Normally, I would say don't do this, but it feels good just for this one time. Breathe. Good, and then slowly walk the hands back in. Walk the hands towards the front, step back. Let's move through a vinyasa, chaturanga. Inhale up. And exhale back. Lift the right leg, open up the hip. Keep sinking the left heel, working both legs as straight as possible. See if you can spin the right shoulder down. And then right foot in between the hands. Shorten the stance. So all toes are facing forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Keep pulling the right hip back. So we're getting nice and deep into that hamstring. Can you work your belly over that leg? Maybe even work the chest, the entire torso. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Come out. So arms come out like wings. Shift the weight into the right foot for airplane. Open up. Drop that left hip. Good. Lift a little higher and then slowly come up to standing. Bringing the left knee into the chest, perhaps without touching the floor. Shoulders back and down. Elbows in. And then soften the standing leg and stack left knee on top of right for eagle legs. Double hook the toes if available today. And then we're going to add eagle arms. So right elbow under the left. Palms come together. If the palms aren't coming together, your shoulders are too tight for any of this to happen, you can just grab the backs, or your hands can wrap around the back. You can kind of try to work your hands onto your shoulder blades. Whoa. Good, so choose one of those. Think about lifting your elbows up, whatever option you're in. And then the knees want to shift over to the right. Try to get them into the midline. Breathe. You can fold forward if you want a little bit more today. One more. Good. Lift the chest. Keep the eagle arms. Unwind the legs, going back to Digasana with eagle arms. Drop the left hip. Lengthen through that left leg. Soften the right knee, lunge back for crescent lunge with eagle arms. Look up, a little back bend if that feels okay today. Good, and then release the arms, lower the back knee, and just kind of fold into the left leg. Should feel really good in that front left hip flexor. See if you can just kind of soften the neck. So you're not holding your head up anymore. Just kind of see if you can lay your body into that front leg. As little effort as possible. One more. Good. Now, if you have any knee issues, please leave this out. If you aren't sure and you need a blanket, a towel, you need to fold up the edge of your mat for extra padding, that's always a nice option. Or you can just go for it. But what I want you to think about, so we're going to get into the quad, reach around and grab the back foot. Think about pushing, you're getting your hips low so that you're on the quadricep. You're not on your kneecap. That's going to unload your knee. It's perfectly safe for your knee as long as there are no issues. Good. Now I like to kind of, for a little extra feet stuff, toe stuff, because of those closed-toed shoes, if you have it available today, you can interlace the fingers in between the toes. I don't know, just an option. You can kind of bring the right knee out to the side to get a little deeper into the hips and pull that back heel in. Nice deep stretch in the quad. Try not to lock out the left elbow, so keep it soft. Breathe. We're here for one more. Good, and then release the back foot. Heel toe the right foot over for pigeon. We're not here as long as usual, just here as more of a resting pose. Open up the chest. Lengthen through the back leg, and then slowly walk it out. Forehead comes down. Knowing we're not here as long as usual, see if you can not waste any moments by gripping. Try to settle in and surrender as much as possible. I even like to, as a symbol that I'm not holding on, I like to turn my palms up sometimes. That way I can't really brace, well, I can try, but it's more difficult to brace myself with the tops of my hands. So maybe trick yourself. One more breath. Good. Walk the hands in. Lean over to the right, swing the left leg around, setting up a seated twist. So the left foot comes down, drop the left hip. So both sitting bones are easily on the floor, left hand behind the back, right arm up, lengthen, and then hook, elbow to knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Good. Fold over towards the floor on the right side just for a counter twist, and then inhale up. And we're going into double pigeon. So heel toe the right foot out, stacking the ankles on top of the knees. This is a deep hip flexor. Now, keep flexing your feet so that your knees are protected. I like to kind of lean into that top shin. That may be too much, you'll know. You'll know as soon as you try it. Again, if you couldn't have access to getting into the hands, the fingers in between the toes, and you want to try it this way, it might be a little more accessible. Really great way. You guys see all those yogi toes, those things. It's so healthy. We think Our feet are there just to kind of get us through, but we wonder as we age, as we progress, when walking gets difficult, it's because we've got these little nubs that we're trying to walk around on. So don't let that happen to you. See if you can create that space, use your feet as much as possible. Lean forward. One more breath. I won't crack my toes because I know some of you, that might freak you out, so I won't do that today. But you could do that. You're at home. I know no one's around, so do what you want. Good. Slowly come up, cross the ankles, move through a vinyasa. Good. Look between the hands. Walk or jump, feet to hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, lower. Now, how'd we start all that? Lift the left knee. Oh, I remember. Lower the left foot. Inhale, the arms out and up. Exhale, fold. That's what happens when I get a little too fancy with the sequencing. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right back to down dog. Lift the left leg, open up the hip. Work the legs as straight as possible, sinking the right heel. Can you spin the left ribs down? Breathe. And then lunge the left foot in between the hands, shorten the stance. Pull the left hip back. Inhale, lengthen, come up onto the fingertips, and exhale, fold over that left leg. If you feel any pinching, anything happening in the back of the knee, just soften that left leg. You don't have to lock it out. I actually sometimes get a better stretch when I do that. So play around with that. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Working the torso over that leg. One more breath. Good. Come up onto the fingertips. Inhale. Now lift the arms, squeeze into the hips, shift the weight into the left foot for airplane. Keep dropping the right hip. Make it a standing back bend, so you're lifting, opening up the heart, and then slowly come up to standing, bringing the right knee with you, shoulders back and down. Get a little taller. Soften the left knee and stack right knee on top of left. You can double hook toes, arms come out, and then left elbow under the right. Again, you can wrap your arms around the back if that's a better option today. Wherever you're at, lift those elbows, hands away from the face, shoulders pulling down the back. Stay here or fold. Keep pulling that right hip back, working the knees into the midline. One more. Good. Slowly come back up to standing. Keep the eagle arms, unwind back to Digasana. Soften the left knee, lunge the right toes back. Add a little back bend if you want. Neutral spine, gazes forward, unwrap the arms and lower the back knee. And just kind of fold into that front leg. Let the left leg bear the weight of your torso as you just surrender. Keep sinking the hips, getting lower. Stay here. Just stay working those hips, or reach around and grab the back foot. Getting into the toes if you want. Again, you're not on that kneecap, so keep sinking your hips lower so you stay on the quad. You can bring the left knee out. One more. Good. Release the back foot and heel toe the left foot over for pigeon. Again, not here too long, so take advantage. Try to get as low as possible. Really reach through that back leg and walk it out. breathe. So I guess we needed hips today, huh? I hope you all were feeling that. I know no matter how much yoga I do, hips, hamstrings, all that stuff, it always needs a nice stretch. So enjoy it. See if you can lengthen out. We're here for one more. Good, and then walk the hands in. Lean over to the left, swing the right leg around, setting up that nice twist. Ground the right heel, dropping that hip, right hand behind the back, left arm up, and hook, inhale, lift, exhale, twist. Use the hand behind your back as a kickstand to lengthen, to get longer in the spine, and then exhale, the resistance of the elbow and the knee to twist your body. One more, inhale, exhale. Good, counter over to the left, fold towards the floor. Good, and then slowly come up. Heel toe the bottom foot out a bit so that you can stack. We also call this pose stacked log pose because your shins are like logs right on top of each other. So it's not Indian style, your heels are not close into your hips, you're stacking the logs. Keep the feet flexed. And just kind of allow that top heel to hang over the edge of the bottom knee. Again, you can lean into it if you think you may want a little more. You can start to fold forward too. Again, getting to the toes if you did last time, if you want that option, if you didn't get into it the other side. One more breath. Good. Release the toes, sit up, cross the ankles, vinyasa. Good. From down dog, look between the hands, walk or jump all the way through for Dandasana. So legs are straight out in front, pulling the sitting bones back. Legs are active, hands next to the hips. Inhale, both arms up, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. So think about your body. Even if it doesn't feel like a hinge today, think about it like a hinge. So the hips are the center of the hinge, and you're just able to fold your whole torso over. That's what you eventually want to work towards. So it's not about, a hinge doesn't kind of round like this. You want to think about lengthening and getting the hinge at the hips so that instead of rounding your back, you're lengthening through the entire torso. Even if you're not there, if it may help, you always know, I said it before when we were standing, bend your knees. That may help to kind of lengthen the spine and get more of that hinge action. One more breath. Good. Inhale up. And cradle the right foot. So you want the foot in the crease of your left elbow and just kind of cradle, getting into that hip. They're already nice and open. Think about lifting up rather than leaning back and rounding. Try to lengthen. Now, first option, you can bring the right foot to the left inner thigh, or maybe the hip crease for a half lotus. If you can go for the half lotus, you may be able to reach around the back and grab the right big toe and fold. If not, you can just reach over the leg. You can keep your foot back into that inner thigh. So there's no better or worse. I love when people say I'm good at yoga or I'm bad at yoga. It doesn't matter. There's no good or bad. It's about breathing, finding our tension so that we can release it. So we have some hope of having more freedom physically, mentally, emotionally, all that stuff. Can you pull the left ribs back, the right ribs forward? One more. Good. Now, inhale up. Lean back, keep the right foot. So if it's in a half lotus, try to get your foot now if it's in Janu, try to get your right foot close into the hip somehow, even if it's on top of the leg. And then lean back and bend the left knee and bring the left foot under your right sitting bone, leg, wherever you can get it. So you want your knees working towards the floor, and now lower your back. So we're kind of working the outer hips, the hip flexors. It's a weird part of the hips, but hopefully you're feeling it. If you're not, you may heel toe your feet out to get your knees closer, almost like a Gomukhasana option, but it's supta, so it brings a whole different scenario in. If this is difficult, breathe, stay calm, and try not to react. This is our work, to not react to the physical pain, to the emotional triggers, to the people screaming at us in our shopping lines, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? How can we react less? Through doing this practice, hopefully we have some hope of getting better at that, of not reacting as much, of staying calm. Slowly come up. Straighten out both legs. You can just kind of shake them out. I know that was intense. Going the other way. So right leg is straight. First option, Janu Shirshasana. Second option, you can cradle that left foot, setting up half lotus. Third option, maybe a wrap. So I don't know if any of you know, but I'm a store manager for a retail store, Lululemon. And my daily work, I always share, this yoga keeps me sane at my full-time job because, especially right now, you guys know it's before the holidays, it's crazy, people are stressed, they're going all ballistic over these pants they have to get their daughters, whatever, it doesn't matter. So, you know, there was an irate woman on the phone this morning, complaining, talking. And I just said, I felt myself starting to react. My heart was going. I was starting to react and take things personally, get upset. And I said, no, Amanda, you're not going to do that. Practice what you preach, right? So I always say, don't react. So I said, can you hold on just a moment? Put her on mute, closed my eyes, breathed a few times. People around me probably thought I was nuts. But I had to affirm and know that I wasn't going to react, that whatever happened through this conversation, I wasn't going to let it change my mood, upset me, anything like that. So I did. I stayed calm. I went back on. Had to give her a free shirt. That helped. She stayed calm. Don't call for free shirts, please. But it was a great lesson, right? Slowly come up. Keep this foot here. If it's in that half lotus, go ahead and bring the foot into the hip. Kind of lean back, bend the right knee. Try to work that right heel under the left hip. You can kind of work the knees closer together if you feel like you have that access in the hips, and then drop to your elbows, and then all the way lying down. This side might be tighter. What you want to do is work the knees down. Some of you flexi people, if you want to grab your feet and kind of pull them in, that might help too, get a deeper stretch. Not really sure if this is a particular pose, but it's a good one. Feels good. Or not so good, right? That's the work. One more. Good. And then just kind of relax the feet. Hug the knees in. If you want a vinyasa to move through all that energy in the hips, feel free to rock and roll a few times and come into that chaturanga, move through the vinyasa, and meet me back lying on the back. I'm going to leave it out today. And then lower the feet onto the mat. Feet are hip width apart. Lift the hips for a bridge. You can interlace the hands, prop yourself up on the elbows. If there's a block, you guys have a block or a bolster that you want to rest under your back, that's always a really nice option, one of my favorite things to do, especially in a stressful day. And then see if you can bring your toes in slightly, really engage the legs, and lift the hips a little higher. Bring the chin away from the chest. One more breath. Good. Slowly lower. Both legs straight up in the air for Supta Dandasana. Hands next to the hips. Can you lengthen, reach towards the front of the mat? Tuck the chin in. Now this is a perfect inversion. You might stay here, maybe open up your legs for a nice inner thigh stretch, or push into the hands and bring your feet up over the head. I'm just adjusting myself. For plow, shoulder stance, I like to kind of, before I go bring my feet up, I like to rock the shoulders underneath so I have a really nice foundation, and then bring the chin away so that all the weight's not in your neck, it's actually in your shoulders. Hands come to the lower back, and you can lift one leg or both. If you have any neck issues or you're just not sure about this one, you guys know, leave it out. It doesn't matter how many poses we do. What matters is if we roll out our mat and we breathe and we do what we can, right? Not making it good or bad, not making it right or wrong. There's no such thing in this practice. But can we learn about ourselves? Can we learn how we deal with things when things get difficult? Can we learn how to react less through rolling out our mat daily? When you've had enough, slowly lower the feet back over the head. Straighten out the arms. And then slowly, keeping your legs close to the body, roll down one vertebrae at a time. When you feel the weight shift into the legs, just lift your chest. For one last forward fold. Don't worry so much about the hinge this time if you just want to do whatever feels good. Rounding your back if that feels better. Doesn't matter. And then slowly roll onto the back again. Hug the right knee in and twist across the body. Back to center and switch. Back to center. For good old Shavasana, let the feet flop out, the palms fall open. If you do nothing else but just listen to the video, listen to the session, and just lie in Shavasana for half the time, for the entire time, you're doing your yoga practice. That's what you needed today. So don't be down on yourself if that's what happened. That's exactly what you needed. So just let that be enough. Let whatever you did on your mat in this session be enough so that you can completely rest. Find that stillness internally. Let go of the breathing. Just let the breath flow in and out of the nose, the mouth. If you get that fidgeting distraction, that urge to move about, ask yourself what that's all about. See? Ask yourself, what is it that I just can't be still? This is one of the hardest parts of this practice I found. Especially those overachievers, those A-type personalities that many of us are. See if you can just, that doesn't define you. That's not who you are. See if you can just rest. Still being conscious. There's a difference between resting and sleeping. Stay here for as long as you want. I encourage you to stay here for a few more breaths. If you're ready to bring some movement back, just wiggle the fingers, the toes, reach up over the head, hug the knees in, lengthen through one side of the body and the other. Rock up and down a few times. Hopefully you've gotten all the kinks out of your back by now. And then we'll meet in a comfortable seated position. Always sealing our practice together with gratitude. So bring the hands to Anjali Mudra. As we recognize the divinity within ourselves and one another, I thank you for always tuning in, for always practicing with me. However many times you do a week, it's perfect. It's exactly what you need. So thank you. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Maintain this peace you created here on your mat throughout the rest of the day and share it with those around you. See you guys next week. Namaste.